community. Let's spin really quickly. So I wanted to introduce some of the segments that we are going to be doing each and every week, and I kind of started off the show saying that we would, maybe establish some content for beginner and intermediate folks, so that you can kind of go back as kind of like a beginner, just a guide just at the beginning of the game. So let's introduce the strategies segment. So I figured we do a quick topic about maybe let's compare some compositions that we've seen in pub games versus at the pro level, and kind of what you see, well, at least what you guys see as both of the common compositions.
Right now, in a pub gameplay, I feel like everyone has gotten. You don't see multiples of characters a lot. Like if someone's like, "Oh, he picked that guy already. I guess I'll play different guy."
Yeah, yeah.
But like actual composition, two Zarias to me is still very frightening. Two divas is extremely powerful.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see too often that difference between pub gameplay.
I see the two divas a lot, actually. People are starting to do that.
Well, maybe after this last
maybe
week.
because they're newer.
Yeah, last weekend, right?
You used to see a lot of double May until they.
Yeah, I mean, you saw triple Genji for a while, but like, you don't see Zarya nearly ever.
Yeah, Zarya, that's true.
Zarya is not very well often played, but when you get two of them, it just feels like the enemy team is always shielded, and then you have wormholes everywhere. It's very hard to do.
Wormholes.
Yes, they have Nidus Canals coming out. It's ridiculous.
Dude, Quad Winston's pretty awesome too.
Yeah, they ran that in the tournament. That was really cool to see.
Yeah, got shut down.
What's a good counter to four Winstons?
Well, apparently it was just playing well. Well,
Yeah.
it means Zenyatta. They had a Zenyatta and a Reaper just shotguns their face.
Yeah, it was Reaper and McCree, which was good at killing the Winstons, and they actually ran with two Lucios. This was Hubris who actually defeated this. One Lucio speed boosting, one Lucio damage or health boosting. That's how they beat that. But I mean,
that's a good idea.
If you talk about the meta right now, in general, like at the high
I want to talk about McCree.
Yeah, McCree's no, actually, everyone's running. The most common loadout is two tanks, two support, two DPS. We're not seeing the defensive characters used almost at all. Like Hanzo, Mei, Bastion, Torbjorn. Obviously, none of those characters are being used in the meta very much.
The highest meta, yeah.
In the high level. But one thing we did see more in this recent tournament was teams switching to 3 tanks, especially towards the end of maps when they really were reaching the end of a map. We saw, one Reinhardt, 2 divas, maybe Zarya, Reinhardt, diva. We saw, especially the 2 divas. We saw that like a bunch of times by non-Enigma, and it worked scary well.
Diva is very everyone thought at first Diva's damage needs to get buffed, but the more I've seen her play, the more I've gotten to play her. She is outrageous.
She's so hard to
kill.
You
initially thought that she was
I thought her ult was the good part, and she sucked. And her ult sucks. And she's awesome. She can just get anywhere and follow anyone and do whatever she wants and create so much space for a whole team. But yeah, you also have a lot of Diva's like a pseudo. She's not really like a tank, pseudo tank. Zarya as well. So you could run a Reinhardt, a Zarya, and a Diva and not feel like you're losing damage, because Zarya inevitably gets to 100 charge. It's very rare that you don't see that happening right now. And then she is one of the highest DPS characters in the game and can give people shields.
All right, so like when it comes,
and her ult is ridiculous. Yeah, like it's so good.
So when it comes to, you brought up the defensive category, all right, of characters. That seems to be played more in the casual, pub games, like things like Bastion, right? Just the turret-based characters. Do you think that characters like Bastion, more so Bastion, will ever be viable in like high pro meta?
Didn't Jeff addressed this, didn't he? And then the last developer diary that he did, he said that casual players have a huge problem with Bastion and Torbjorn, but at a competitive level, they're not good at all, really. The competitive players have been able to take them down very easily. So they're trying to figure out how to make them viable in both, like a casual, because a casual audience sees them as impossible to deal with. If you see a Bastion and you're just playing for a couple hours, he's impossible to deal with. But like I said, a competitive level, why would you ever play him? And they're trying to figure out like how to make him good and balanced on both sides of the coin. I have no idea how you would do that. I really don't.
I actually made this comparison I find pretty funny. Bastion, he sits in a corner and he aims in one spot and deals a lot of damage. Why wouldn't you have a Widowmaker do the exact same thing?
Yeah.
There isn't enough room on your team to have a Bastion or a Torbjorn unless you base your team around it. And I feel like as a defending team, which is who would have a Bastion and who would have a Torbjorn, can't afford to do that because you don't know what the attackers are going to play, so they're going with really well-rounded defenses. And Torbjorn is not a well-rounded defense.
Mm-hmm.
I think we could have a Bastion and Genji comes out of the gate.
And like even like Torbjorn,
okay.
I mean, I personally feel that Torbjorn is not in a good place right now because just coming from, I mean, obviously there's no real like stuns in TF2 besides like the Sandman ball. Really, there's like a stun, like hard CC. I don't think Torbjorn, his turret should not be able to be freezed. I don't think
Reinhardt can slam it. It can be frozen.
There's a lot of things that
on it.
Exactly. I think that Torbjorn's sentry needs to be undamageable by some things because it just makes it unbearable when if a Mei comes in and freezes your turret, like come on now. Like that should never happen. And like even like a Diva ult, I know that like you can get a Reinhardt to stand in front of it, but if a Diva ults, I mean, yeah, but if a Diva ults on top of your turret, you have to leave. And it's going to get destroyed. You have to leave. It's like a sentry buster from Man vs. Machine. You can't pick up your sentry. It's like, that sucks. I like playing Torbjorn. It's just you see these things happen, and you're just like, what am I supposed to do right now? Just lose?
Yeah.
Well, at the same time with Bastion, and we're getting into some character talk, which is good too, because we want to talk about characters each and every week also. But with Bastion, it's hard to kill them, but at the same time, it's like, casuals are not going to play Widowmaker, right? I mean, they're just not very good at Widowmaker. They could try to play Widowmaker, but they're never going to be dealing as much damage. So, is it good to just have these kind of characters that are that are just made for casuals?
They are a lot of fun to play.
I mean, is it okay?
I'll give them that. Bastion is one of my favorite characters. I never play him because he'll die.
My son plays Bastion.
I love Bastion.
He freaking loves it. Yeah.
Dude. Like hiding in a corner, getting a couple kills, and you move. You can make it work in a pub, but then I see why they want to rebalance them, because then it's never going to work against any like sort of organized game, which they want the game to be organized.
It's definitely that dream of having every single character viable. It's just sometimes
I mean, like
sometimes
Lucio,
almost all of them are
a tank,
except for the defensive characters.
That's right. That's true.
Like all the tanks are viable, probably with Roadhog being the least viable, but they're all good. All the DPS characters are good.
Mm-hmm.
They're all useful in their own scenarios. So I think they've done a great job balancing so far. It's really just the defensive class, which seems to be completely neglected by the competitive scene right now.
Well, even the good ones. I would say Hanzo and Junkrat are the best of the defensive class. Junkrat, I think, does
Junkrat's defensive, right.
Junkrat does well. Hanzo is just not going to do well until Widowmaker isn't as good. That's, I think, what it comes down to.
Yeah. I think that's true.
I agree.
I guess last question about characters.
Jesus.
Yeah, the ult. God, the ult's not good.
Dodge, unless you're like in a narrow hallway.
Yeah, true.
He has his uses, and I think he's really good because you can scatter arrow of full.
Scatter shots. Good.
Yeah. And the Zarya Dragon combo, we're just spacing people out with the Dragon is good, but he's still like, I don't know, we should cut this guy from the team and get a good Widowmaker.
Yeah.
Right.
There's a lot of them.
Right. All right, the big question. Any OP characters right now?
I want to talk about Widowmaker a little bit.
They just nerfed her. They just nerfed Widowmaker.
Not enough.
Good, man.
Yeah.
I mean, the competitive community has a pretty clear consensus about the most OP character, and that is Mercy.
Mercy, yes.
Because of her ability to damage boost Widowmaker, it's actually a key part of it. Like, that's kind of the combo, Widowmaker Mercy.
Yeah.
But her revive, it's more or less a way to negate, like, one team can drop 3 ults, get like 5 kills, and the Mercy maybe just spawned, is coming out of spawn, casts her ult, and it basically negates all those.
Yeah.
So that's people's biggest issue right now.
I truly hate Mercy. Like, I have gone off before. I want her ult to have like a complete ground up redesign.
Wow.
I'm not happy with it.
There's a lot of ways you could redesign it. It could be only people you can see in line of sight.
I mean, even if it wasn't a
revives at
resurrect, I'd
50%.
be happy.
A line of sight would be great. I mean, that's not a
Yeah.
total redesign. That's just more of a modification, right? Like,
What if it still did the same thing, but like 30% HP?
That
Yeah,
would be,
yeah,
that would be
would
fine
also
too.
work.
That would absolutely be fine too. Yeah.
And then they respawn with 30% HP, and you're able to build ult off their missing health and do it again. And in
Oh,
about
God.
20 seconds.
It's just instant replay again. I mean, I don't know sure that is
Again.
the answer, because then there's no point to her.
I think
Her
a
ult.
huge part of it is she builds ult way too fast. It's too
Yeah.
easy to get it for her. She doesn't die. Killing her is a detriment to the team. If you go for her first, you might want to stop her from resurrecting people, but then she respawns and can do it from the spawn room.
Yeah,
It
agreed.
should probably be a-
I
it should be
gave
a
her
range.
ult because I killed her. I don't think she should gain ult from taking damage.
Okay, well, there's a question about
does.
just
Oh.
the ult power, right? Or powering up to ult. When you die, should you take a penalty, or should there be some subtraction to that, so that you're just not literally. I mean, because the only penalty you have is switching characters. You can't switch characters, because it just starts over if you switch characters. But should there be a negative when you die when it comes to that?
I think only the negative would affect someone like Mercy, who can do it literally from spawn. Because if Farah, if you lost 10-15% of your ult when you died, you fire 1 rocket, 2 rockets, then you ult. I don't think it stops anyone in their tracks as much as it would stop spawn room Mercy.
Okay.
Do you guys just globally
huge
think that?
problem.
Do you think globally that all ults should be slower to charge?
I actually
agree
do.
with that as
I do
well.
too.
I completely do.
I do too.
I think at this point, like, I was playing some pubs last night, and we were trying to stop a team. I was on defense, and we kept having these amazing like combos of ults and killing them all. And then their Mercy would ult, and then their Lucio would ult, and like every single time there was a new wave,
Yes.
there was a new wave of ults. Like,
It's too much.
I think it's not like a big issue, but I would definitely maybe turn it down like 20%, 25%. Like, just make it so you need 25% more
Yeah.
ult or more meter or whatever.
You'll see often. There's even a couple fights where you're all fighting for last. Like, you'll get on the point. You'll throw down May's ultimate, which they did nerf this recently, where you can't build ult while it's out. But you throw down May's ultimate, freeze everyone, you kill everyone. They're still pushing. Like, you haven't stopped fighting anyone, and you ult a second time. It just keeps going and going.
Yeah, and I mean those moments, especially in other games that we've seen, like MOBAs. I mean, those team battles where everybody uses their ult, that's a special moment, right? And there's usually
Yeah,
like 5-10 minutes between
I
those
also
moments.
don't even think people
So-
are good at building ults yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, you
I
mean
don't think
chaining them
Mercies
and
are
stuff? Yeah.
are
yeah,
used to like boosting off of a Roadhog and like letting the Roadhog take damage so that they can build ult. Like, I don't see too much of that.
yeah. Right.
So people are only going to learn how to do it even quicker.
Yeah, just abuse what's there right now.
And
Mhm.
and again, I don't think there should ever be a downside to killing someone. Like, when killing someone gives them an ultimate and they can just like, there are times in this game where you shouldn't be fighting at all and just like waiting in a corner or something.
You brought up like League of Legends or like MOBAs in general. They're usually on a timer, right? So
Yeah.
how long
Yep.
is like a typical
That's right.
ult timer?
120
60
seconds.
seconds, 120
Yeah, it's like
seconds, like 80
minutes.
seconds.
Yeah.
Something
So-
like that.
In reality, if you're talking about 2 potential minutes before you can do your ultimate in Overwatch, you can build ultimate. You can get like 2 or 3 ultimates off in 2 minutes if you're really good. I've been in games with people that are playing McCree, people that are playing Hanzo, and they're
Especially
ulting
when,
every 30 seconds.
Yeah.
if you're damage boosted and you're getting more damage from the boost and you're getting more ultimate, and like through the course of one fight, like 20 seconds, you can build an ult.
That's crazy.
And I don't know,
Yeah.
it feels like it's an ultimate should be special. It shouldn't be a thing you do like once a game, but
Yeah.
I don't think you should be able to get like 2 or 3 ults off in less than 2 minutes. It just feels
What do you
like
think
way
about like diminishing returns on ultimate game? Like, as the match goes on, it
Ooh.
gets harder, and I think that would also stop some overtime events.
I don't love that actually.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like maybe the reverse.
Oh,
Because then like
Get the
no,
more-
not the reverse. Like
that would be
yeah,
that would be
build
even
it quick,
yeah.
quick early. Like
Well, wouldn't that cause you to choose when is a good time to actually coordinate it, not want to waste it because the next one will take longer, and like what I was talking about earlier, stopping overtimes from going on.
I think it's not conceptually that bad, but I think that's definitely hard to understand. especially if we're talking about from a viewership standpoint and things like that. Too.
We're just discussing it, buddy.
Man.
Hey,
It's
we're
like,
just
oh,
throwing
he's
them
on
out.
his
We're just throwing
5th
around info.
ultimate now, and his 5th ultimate is a lot weaker than this guy's actual 3rd ultimate, and oh man, that would be kind of crazy from an accessibility standpoint.
Hey, all I know is press Q.
Press Q, exactly right.
You have it, press it.
I changed that. I changed that
I mean-
button. Damn it! Like I was terrible at pressing Q. So
They're
definitely.
totally different. Just like obviously MOBAs, that's a totally different genre. You're building you need 2 minutes is a good amount of time, but ultimates, the name ultimate, right? In its own name is your ultimate ability. It
Uh-oh.
shouldn't feel like
We
something
changed
that's
the
on like a 30-second cooldown. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, I'll just do
absolutely.
another one. That was a pretty good ultimate. That was my ultimate move.
I think it is stopping people from caring.
Yeah.
Just doing it. You always see the one guy who goes in, like, you haven't pushed yet, and there's already like a Winston jumping around. And you're like,
My favorite is Zenyatta.
There's like just dragons flying around for no reason.
I love seeing those solo Zenyatta's just like, oh shit, I'm not doing anything. Better orb away.
Glow
damn
That's
and
a great
Firefly.
example. Zenyatta, if someone's about to kill you, which is all the time, you just press Q because you're like, no one's gonna follow through with this. I'll have it again soon because Zenyatta's also builds really fast, like passively, just because you're always healing someone.
You can still smack her around with Winston's ult, right? Even when she's
Zenyatta,
invincible like
yeah.
that. Yeah, you still knock her across.
You
the
actually
screen,
you
so-
actually knock him around, right? You knock, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And Roadhog's ult pushes him back and keeps him away and all that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, why don't we take some questions from you guys, the viewers here, and lots of tweets actually. So I'm gonna pull from Twitter here. Actually, let me pull up the Reddit thread too. If you guys can maybe take a look at the Reddit thread, I'll look through the Twitter ones first. Okay, so Shindigs, he asks, have you considered the viability of a team being all Winstons? So we talked a little bit about quad Winstons, but what about a 6-man Winston for, I don't know, attacking, like objective attacking? Like, we saw that video, right, of
yeah.
Hanamura.
We pretty much did see it again in the tournament. There was 5 Winstons. They all jumped synchronized over a wall in King's Row for the first point, and they had a Lucio speed boosting him to keep him healed, and it just didn't work. I think in a pub, like, just there's no coordination to begin with, so no one would be ready for 6 Winstons. But like as a standard thing, I don't think it'll ever work.
It did. It did
I don't think
did
it'll
work to-
ever
yeah,
work.
it did
I
work
think
to an
that
extent.
it's balanced in a good enough place where it's not 6 Winstons isn't like the end all. You know, I
Well,
feel
yeah.
I'm scared of the 6 May that can forever contest a point.
Just block, block,
Well,
block,
if
block.
you do
yeah.
6 of any character, you're missing out on the other characters in the game's abilities in support. You
Yeah,
do
but
like 6 Reinhardts, you're not going to have anybody that's going to heal. You have like 6 Mays. I mean, obviously it's annoying, but like,
Well, that's
don't have
that's
to
why that's the
counter.
only one I'm worried about because they can heal themselves and they can stop themselves from being killed. What
That's
is the
good,
counter to someone who is unshootable?
I mean, maybe it would be a cool thing to see somebody just kind of throw it out there, like mid or end of the game, you get like 6 Reinhardts. It would be so surprising. Like, wait a second, there's 6 Reinhardts on the. What's happening? And it would be like a surprise.
Yeah,
6 Winstons, 6 Reinhardts, 6 out of anything. Really, it would just surprise people.
good idea I
Yeah.
just had. You should be able to knock back May's ice block with like
Just push it, yeah.
yeah, you should be able to push that.
Well, Ben, you were about to say it was viable for at least a bit in the tournament,
Oh,
right?
Actually, the first round, the team Overwatch Jackets, I believe they did the 5 Winston 1 Lucio strategy and
I was referring to.
Buff Widowmaker. No, the Hubris beat
Oh.
them, but they actually beat Buff Widowmaker using that strategy. I
Well,
believe.
that's because they had a Widowmaker and they knew they were going to be buffing a Widowmaker, and that was their whole strategy. So of course Winston would beat that.
Anyway, just throwing that
sure.
out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
But I mean, this
can
is
be a
kind of
counter.
opening Pandora's box.
yeah, it
for
could be a
the entire
counter thing.
question
Exactly.
of-
Yeah,
I mean, there's
I
like-
know there's the whole character lock-in debate, character limit.
Yeah.
To a degree, I wouldn't mind seeing a character limit. I don't think it's necessary. I think anything could be dealt with to a degree.
Yeah.
To start with, you
But-
shouldn't have a character limit. I mean,
Yeah.
until somebody just finds something that's crazy.
Yeah, we haven't seen
abusive,
the game
then it's
broken
over.
yet,
Yeah,
so why not?
exactly.
I have a good feeling this is going to be a contentious issue because I've seen a lot of Reddit threads and a lot of people talking about it, which seems kind of weird because it's not like any of the teams are really running multiple of one character anyway. We've only started to see that very recently with multiple divas. And even then, it's not like OP. It's not like crazy OP or anything. So I'm honestly ambivalent about it. I could go either ways. Like if we want to limit it to one character, one of each per team, I would be totally fine with that. If we don't, I'd also be totally fine with that. From a casting and viewing perspective, I mean, I think it makes it better to have variety. I mean, it makes it easier to cast, and it looks a little less goofy when you don't have two Winstons on a team. On the score screen. So
definitely variety.
I actually don't care either way.
A lot of times, past having 3 of a character starts to get into the territory of this is not good anymore anyway.
Yeah. Okay, next question. Who is your favorite character? I guess for each one of us. Jerma, why don't you start, man? I'll go last.
My favorite character.
It's changed a couple times. It really has. Like at first it was Lucio.
Yeah.
Like it was probably Lucio.
Drop the beat, man.
No, I love Lucio. He's awesome. But I mean, then it was like Zenyatta. His Zenyatta is still probably it. If it wasn't Zenyatta, it'd probably be.
Oh, you poor soul.
Oh, he's the best. He's great.
I love Zenyatta.
Squishy though.
Yeah, dies really.
Yeah,
easy.
you do
on your team.
Yeah, but he's still fun. He's just everything about him. He's just fun to play. I like the passive kind of healer. Yeah, it's an interesting mechanic. If it wasn't either one of those two, if we're like talking about like a damage dealer or something, maybe I don't know. Maybe Winston. I like playing
That's
Winston.
mine, actually.
He's not a damage dealer, but yeah, I would say Winston.
Yeah, Winston's my favorite. FishStix, what's your favorite?
At first I had to say Pharah, like no brainer, coming from Tribes and Quake. It's basically a mix of Tribes and Quake. Her rocket launcher is almost a direct rip of the rocket launcher from Quake 3. It feels like it. It looks like it. Sounds like it. Lately, I've been enjoying Genji. His reflect is just so fun to use when you use it effectively. It's like ridiculously fun, and he's arguably the most mobile character in the game with his dash, his double jump, his wall climb, and even some of the glitches are fun too. But I also just tried Reinhardt over the weekend, who's ridiculously fun. It feels like you're almost, if you're against a really good Reinhardt on the other side, it almost feels like you're playing like a chess game.
You're pushing each other. You're just
it's
pushing each other.
It's like
charge.
Yeah.
It's almost like rock paper scissors. Like, is he gonna charge? Is he gonna do the whatever attack? Is he gonna just keep shielding? Like,
well, usually it's whoever charges first loses. Actually,
it's such a perfect way to describe it. Rock paper scissors. That's like the perfect way to describe Reinhardt v Reinhardt.
Yeah, pretty much.
But it can be.
Thanks, Jerma.
It can be so strategic watching Reinhardt versus Reinhardt too, because it's like the other team relies so heavily on the shield that you're just moving the shield just by charging them. Like that could be just sole purpose.
I hate the Reinhardt on your team that has to drop his shield to press E, and then someone behind him gets headshot.
Oh god, yeah.
Was the 150 damage worth it? Mercy's just building.
It's never worth it. Like
exactly.
It never is.
But it's so fun to do. It's fun just to throw.
Everyone does it anyway. Like even at the top level.
Yeah. Exactly.
Because it gets boring. You're holding your shield up. You're walking around. I just want to throw something at somebody.
Ster, your favorite character. Ster.
My favorite. From week to week, I end up picking a new one. Like I even said in the beginning that Symmetra was going to be a character that I hated. It's my biggest antidote for saying, wow, these characters are actually really fun. Symmetra was really fun once you get to understand why her teleporter is winning you every single game. But I think for like the long haul, my favorite has continued to be Roadhog.
Really?
I just feel like if I get on Roadhog, I'm going to have a fun game every time. The hook is
Pudge, man.
Dude, I've been in a couple games where Roadhog will get like 81% accuracy with the hook. I'm like, are you serious?
Roadhog
I still don't know the range very well.
Like pub, it's people like jump to like Roadhog is like overpowered when you see it, but like team coordination, it gets really hard to actually pull people. But it's also still fun when like in a coordinated game, Reinhardt drops his shield to throw his E inevitably, and you pull him and you just destroy him.
Yeah.
You have people that actually follow up on the damage with you. He's like, it's just a fun dude.
I originally thought he was pretty. I thought he was like a really super overpowered character when we first started playing, but like he, without having he like you said, like tank wise, I think that FishStix you said it, like he's probably one of the worst tanks at the moment. You'd probably say. So like I remember initially, I was like, oh, he's so good. He's like the best tank in the game. He like can kill people. It's like not really.
He's not.
He just
a tank.
has 600 health.
Yeah, he's not really a
Not a
tank.
great tank.
Roadhog as well is like you can one-shot Winston, and it feels so good. He just for a second walks in front of his shield dome, and you pull him and one-shot him. It's like, okay.
Any shotgun in the face pretty much gets Winston there. Yeah, for me, it is Winston, like I said, and I also love Mei a lot too. Just her escapability and just utility of her powers are a lot of fun to play.
She's cool.
I wish she was still as power. I wish she could still one shot like everything she freezes like instantly, but still, it's pretty.
Man, what stopped her?
Well, I don't know. Did they not nerf the damage on Mei at all? I mean, I thought they did.
They slowed down multiple Meis can't freeze one target.
Oh, that's what it was, right? That's true. Yeah.
I mean, her headshots are still 140 damage.
Yeah, it's just
if you hit a Tracer one time, it's like
well, Tracer dies. Yeah, Tracer dies fast. Genji dies fast, but I wish I could just one shot Reinhardt and Winston. That would be awesome.
One shot Reinhardt. Oh,
God,
who would ever
that'd be
play?
awesome.
It would be,
like the little girl one
shot
shot Reinhardt. That'd be beautiful. All right, next up, let's see. Oh, by the way, that question was from Wicked Sencho, and maybe we'll take one or two more here.
I think a good question that I've seen in chat a couple of times is to talk about the 20 tick rate situation that was discovered.
20 tick rate? What was that?
Yeah, familiar. Well, someone said they tested during the beta when they had the open weekend. They looked into it, and it turned out that Overwatch has 20 hertz tick rate. Counter-Strike standard is 64. Okay. Private servers have 128 in Counter-Strike. Me and Jerma were talking about this a bit. Battlefield is around 20.
Explain to people what that is.
Tick rate is pretty much the response time from client side to server, what is actually happening. Just the shortest, most I'm not an intelligent person way to explain it. If you're in the game in Overwatch right now, client side everything feels perfect. If you shoot a guy, he got shot. When you look at the kill cam exists to show you how wrong it was, where you feel like you were 3 steps behind a wall, but they actually shot you on their screen, so you're dead. So it's kind of a lag compensation, just how often the server is refreshing the reality of the two things.
Okay.
You understand?
All right. So,
good enough.
So thoughts on that, basically, or
but like you said, hit registration is client side. I don't know. Tick rate conversations are always tricky because none of us are network engineers, and I can't really go into too much detail. And people really, really like to get outraged about tick rate. All I know is the game feels good, man. Like, feels good, and competitive players, competitive FPS players complain about everything. They complain about everything. And so far, people are pretty positive about the game. Like, I haven't heard people talk about registration being bad. I'm not gonna call this as an issue. I'm not even gonna care about it until really we have more time in the game, and
I think it is something
smarter than me can look into it. I don't know.
It is a beta. The servers have been crashing. I wouldn't say they're the best they're ever going to be. Like, this is something that can only get better. But there have been a couple moments where I think after you play the game a little bit, you'll notice, like, I shouldn't have got killed by that. The other day, I was taking it a bit more seriously during whatever tournament that was. I think
was it the EU tournament or
FishStix tournament?
Oh, FishStix tournament. Okay.
A Reinhardt jumped, so I hooked him on Roadhog. He was in the air and hooked, and he hammered down. And I was so pissed off that, like, on my screen, there's no feasible way he should have stunned, like, 4 people on our team. But, like, you can see in some moments that, like, on his, for him, they know he got the hammer down out. And there's another good example on Roadhog where you hook a Tracer in the middle of her teleport, and you didn't actually hook her. There's a lot of moments where it's noticeable, but it's not, like, the end of the world kind of situation, and I think it can only get better.
That's what I was gonna say. Is we talked about it very briefly on your stream before we came over here, but are all these servers in California? Does anybody know that? Like, where are the servers right now? Where are the beta servers?
They have to be somewhere in California because I always have 90 ping. I've never not had 90 ping.
I've had 90 ping the whole time too.
So once the game they get more servers, they get more reliable servers, they get everything locked in. Yeah. Then we could probably have a discussion.
Well, at least in NA, they're in California.
Then we'll get
they have to have some EU servers too. Yeah. There's no way they just
put the pitchforks in the cabinet until
they're ready.
That's what I'm trying to say here.
Ready. They're sharpened.
No, please.
I don't
They've already
doubt you.
they've already taken them out a few times. All right, so I know they definitely exist. All right, fuck. I don't know. FCKTHST asks, what do you guys think about Invoker in game? Will there be a Sunstrike hero, and will it be good?
I don't play Dota. What does this mean?
I'm on like a
Is
spellcaster.
that not the character that combines 3 different abilities to make different spells? Invoker. ChanManV.
I actually do not know.
Okay,
I have nothing.
Invoker has like
None of us play
he has
Dota.
This is good.
Yeah.
This is good
Depending on the
filtering
order
by-
that you press those abilities, he creates like here's a meteor. It's kind of like magic or the
Oh, okay.
wizarding gauntlet.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that's what it is. That kind of character would be pretty cool. My opinion is just
Yeah, it's like the
any
Cho'Gall of
new character
of-
would be cool
yeah.
because I don't think
Anything.
a character has let me down yet besides Mercy.
I would agree. I'd say any addition to the game is good.
Yeah.
I think any character addition, just because it's more stuff to get excited about. It's more stuff to try to
Especially
counter and play, and it's fun all around. Add more stuff.
especially things that don't mirror like TF2
Right.
at all. You know what I mean? I think that's when it's gonna start.
I think
Just,
a
those things
spellcaster
are
would
really
be
really
pretty
nice.
sweet.
Yeah.
I
That'd
don't-
be-
You got like
Symmetra is kind of like a spellcaster because she creates hard light and it turns it into objects.
Great
But
art.
she doesn't really use that in any part of her kit. Yeah.
Yeah,
we're
that's true,
talking
that's her
about like
story.
a wizard that like has like
Yeah.
a thunderstorm ability.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, they
Thunderstorm.
have ninjas, they have cowboys. Where's the
I want
freaking
Gandalf.
wizard?
I want
What's the wizard
Gandalf
in
in
it?
this damn game.
And everybody in the thunderstorm that's like in a small area, their attack speed is reduced by 40%.
Increased by 40%.
Decreased. It's a
You
thunderstorm.
make the enemy fight faster and they miss all their shots.
Oh my
And his
god.
ultimate
Run out of ammo.
ability will be like lightning storm,
Yeah.
and he'll drop down like a lightning cloud. And
So
it's like,
FishStix,
You are-
FishStix.
You're
What
describing Zeus.
what type of character would you like to see?
Honestly, I think Blizzard has struck gold with this whole concept of bringing in the MOBA aspects.
Mhm. Yep.
Copying ideas from different FPS. They're basically taking cues from every which way and every angle. I think it's amazing as far as I'm concerned, and I really, really, really hope that they add more than 21 characters with all kinds of crazy abilities. Like, I would love to see this game move even closer towards MOBAs. And
Mhm.
before you freak out, I know everyone in chat is going to be like, "Oh my god, he said MOBAs!"
Screws
Um,
him.
No, I'd love to see as many characters as possible with as much variance. Like, I'd like to see more area of effect spells that do interesting things, all that stuff.
Heroes are the big part of the game right now. We're adding a new hero changes. I describe them like Hearthstone cards, where it changes the meta because there's a new one, not because you rebalance.
That
them.
doesn't always happen in Hearthstone. But okay.
I know. Rio Jackson right now. Come on,
Okay,
Genji.
yeah, okay.
Everyone's
All
playing
right.
Genji now. But like, I was kind of disappointed to hear that the what you see is what you get. 21 heroes. I thought they were gonna. I didn't care if they went free to play.
It's a
but I-
beta, guys. I mean,
I know,
Come on. It's like I think
they had.
they're getting unfair.
I think I'm
treat
saying
because
the
of
words
that.
wrong.
But they
I think I was
did-
saying
they
I was
did-
expecting more heroes more often. But again, it is the beta, so we'll see.
I mean, it's not like
They
like
did
Hearthstone
definitively
released
say-
freaking expansion in beta. You know what I mean? It's like that's what people. And I know this is because Blizzard hyped it up, and yes, there's definitely a drawback to that. But we have to always look at this as a beta. Like they shouldn't be releasing like
Yeah. The
content.
current
packages
roster is
during
good,
beta.
but you definitely get moments where it's like,
Yeah.
Reinhardt, I feel like fills the only legitimate tank role. Winston is kind of harassed. Steve is kind of harassed. Like if you want to defend this area, pick Reinhardt every single time. There's
That's what we're seeing too.
four supports.
Yeah.
There's like
the
6
teams are doing for sure.
offense.
Yeah.
Even if there was a slightly varied Reinhardt that was still the same, I don't care that he was only slightly varied. I just think it would be cool to
Yeah,
have a new guy.
absolutely.
I think they
completely
need more
agree.
supports. I think the support characters, they all fill. I mean, I was talking to I think I was talking to like the crew, like Italics and Boo and those.
I
guys.
remember you saying this, so I was there.
That they've already fulfilled every single potential role for support. Like they have the passive healer in Zenyatta, they have like the shielder in Symmetra, they have the direct healer in Mercy, and they have like the overall AOE healer in Lucio. They already like kind of covered every potential kind of base, but even like a variation. I feel like
I would like to see a
Or innovate.
what
Just
about,
come
like,
up with a new one.
No, what's the name of the weapon? Crusader's crossbow, like an actual shot heal, would be really cool to see.
Oh,
I mean, what about
yeah.
like we haven't? One of the most common things you see in MOBAs is like I don't even play MOBAs. I'm completely bullshitting. But something that I believe
sure.
I think is in
I
MOBA
think they
games.
have these.
I'm pretty sure
bullshitting.
that some people have abilities to make it so you can't cast one of your abilities, like
Like
maybe an
silence.
alt-
Yeah, like a silence,
like a
All right,
silence.
yeah.
Like I'd love to see that. Like maybe there's someone that makes it so you charge your ult faster, or maybe there's someone that makes it so they charge their ult slower. Like that type of meta.
Yeah.
I'd love to see all of that stuff.
Yeah, I mean
You
the
want
buff,
somebody like a
the
healer.
buff, yeah, the buffing abilities are. There's still a lot of potential for buffing abilities. Right now, it's just speed and health and armor, right? I mean, there's
I
definitely
think you
a lot
start
more.
to get more outlandish once you get past these initial 4,
Mhm.
and these are a good
Yeah.
4 base characters, which is why.
Well, that's what I meant. Like they've covered like their initial base of like AOE, direct, passive, and like other passive. You know
And
what I mean?
bullshit resurrect full team from Swan.
Well,
Revive
of course.
all.
So you have to have one of those, at least one in every video game. Come on.
I mean, this just popped in my head. I've played a lot of enemy territory, Quake Wars, and Dirty Bomb, where medics have defibrillator paddles and they can just shock anyone up. That could be somebody's E, right? Like there could be that medic. They could just rip that medic from
Yeah,
from enemy
single
territory.
revives. Hmm.
That's possible.
I'd love
That's a
that.
scary thought, but
It's
I
a
think
scary
it-
thought.
What, a single
Maybe
revive?
it's-
A single
maybe
revive would
every
be a
10
better.
seconds comes back.
I mean, depending on
Yeah.
how powerful their other moves were, running forward to a dead guy is scary enough in the game.
yeah.
I think it could work. There's a lot of things. It's just the fact that we're this excited about what could be coming is
Yeah,
a really good sign.
it's definitely
Yeah.
a great thing. Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
I just hope they do it in a fashion that it's not going to make people lose interest. Because yes, we are still in beta, and yes, they've announced all the characters that are going to be in at launch. I hope that they have some ace up their sleeve where it's like, oh, by the way, look at this awesome, cool thing that you had no idea was coming, and here it is.
Launch
And
day,
like, by the
man.
way, the launch is in like 2 or 3 months. We need more to care about at this point.
It
There's
could be-
already a lot there, but they need to kind of drag the carrot along a little further, I think, to keep people interested for these next 7 straight months until launch. And we don't even have a release date. It's spring 2016, right?
There was a date. and
It's
so
like
it
6
might be
months.
before
Yeah,
that.
but there's always a date that gets leaked out to like games.
No.
There's a date.
Before June 22nd.
Yeah, June 22nd. It's 6 months, dude. It's like
It'll
yeah,
be
June 6
sometime
months.
before June 22nd.
Yeah, sometime before then.
Well,
which,
that's
which
all they
is
said.
June, June
Anyways,
21st. Then.
on
Is that what
April
it
still
is?
stands.
Yeah.
June 21st.
Hey, I only trust the release date when the developer tells me it's coming out on this date and this is when it's coming
I
out.
only
Yeah,
trust the
okay.
release date when GameSpot accidentally leaks it.
All right, guys.
GameStop, not GameSpot. That's a different. That's a
We
different.
could
company.
go on for.
Either,
Well, why don't we?
whatever.
All right, why don't we wrap up this episode? This first episode we've had, which was really, really great. Awesome having FishStix here talk about Overwatch, and hopefully you guys, gotten a chance to enjoy it. But let's do our shout outs and just kind of wrap things up. FishStix, shout outs.
Thanks everyone who tuned into the Cup last weekend, this Saturday. If you want to check out the VOD, you can do that at twitch.tv/FishStix or my YouTube channel. Oh my God, it's FishStix. I don't ever use it, but I uploaded my first ever video. Yeah, beyond that, there's going to be a lot more competitive stuff coming. I plan on being as involved as I possibly can be. I held the second ever tournament and casted the first one. So if you're interested in competitive Overwatch and you enjoyed conversations today, please do give me a follow and check it out. We'll be casting again this weekend, supposedly. One of my friends from Dirty Bomb wanted to admin and host a tournament, so I'm going to support them with that next weekend. And the information, I don't have the information handy, unfortunately. It's going to be Saturday. But if you follow me on Twitter, you'll find out. But,
Follow him on
Thanks
Twitter.
a lot, Chris,
Yeah.
for inviting me. I had a lot of fun. This was good. This is a good
Well, I
chat.
hope you had a lot of fun. Shit, man.
Yeah, it was awesome. It's good stuff. So thanks a lot.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming on. Like you
Yeah.
obviously a guy with a lot of no wherewithal. Was it?
Passion.
Passion.
Wherewithal.
We're all
Passion.
You know what
passion.
you're talking about.
Hashtag.
You are a dude of interest. So we wanted to have you on. Yeah, that's great.
Absolutely.
I'll do my shout out.
Yep. Go for it.
Shout out to everybody that got into the weekend beta.
Oh,
I hope
no.
you enjoyed it. I
So,
hope
so you're not shouting out all the other guys that didn't get it.
Well, I mean, look.
No one
let's
cares
put it this
about
way.
those people.
It'll happen. It's gonna
They didn't
happen.
even play the
Oh
game.
my
I'm
god.
gonna address the audience
Okay.
directly.
All right. My bad. I shouldn't interrupt you. All right. Continue.
So, the beta that happened this last weekend, if you got a chance to play, shout out to you, shout out for checking it out, and shout out to those also that didn't get in before. Yeah, like, I didn't get a chance to finish. And those of those of you that like haven't had a chance to play, that are this passionate still about the game and care this much, you have a lot to look forward to. So seriously, like, it's crazy to see that there are people that are still so amped up and ready to play this game, and all they've been able to do is watch footage. And you shout out to those people that are still this dedicated. You guys are awesome. And you're the reason why the community will continue to grow. Like, you
absolutely.
are the community. So,
Ster?
I say shout out to those people, but particularly the people watching right now, because it's a small community with even fewer people that have actually gotten to play the game. So if you I just appreciate anyone who showed up. I'm doing this show here because I love the game. So I'm glad there are other people that I can actually share this with right now that are excited for everything that's happening and that actually are interested in what's going on with Overwatch.
Absolutely.
So shout out to you viewers. You're all cool people.
Yeah, and I'll round things out. Yep, same thing. Shout out to all of you viewers that are watching, and I just kind of continuing on Stir's note that, you know, starting communities, which, you know, I've been a part of, at least say with the Hearthstone community, really starting right from the beta is a wonderful time. Actually, it's great when you have people very, very passionate about a game, and we're, you know, all trying to build up a community. It's something that, you know, people don't always get to see, because you only see in the beginning. And so seeing guys like Ben, you know, FishStix here doing, you know, his events, and guys like Joshy and, you know, even ESL and those guys, you know, really just trying to create this community and facilitate it and help it grow is awesome. And that's kind of what, you know, we're trying to do here with the show too, is from a content standpoint, you know, trying to give you guys just a cool hour and a half, 2 hours each and every week where you can come and chill out with us and enjoy some discussion. But big thanks to the three of you guys, FishStix, Jerma, Ster, for doing the show with me. And, you know, hopefully Ster and Jerma will be able to do this each and every week for you guys. The VODs for the show will be on youtube.com/ChanManV. The VODs for all my shows are there. So if you're ever interested in the other ones, you'll find them there. And audios will be available. They're not quite ready like my other shows, so they won't be there tomorrow, but they will be there in a couple days once Apple says okay and Stitcher says okay. But it'll be on iTunes. It'll be on there'll be a feed burner, and you can find it on Stitcher too if you have that app. And then lastly, just I guess follow the channel. If you enjoy the show, just follow the channel, and then you'll just get notified each and every Monday. You know, whenever we do this. This time might move around a bit.
Oh, really?
I don't know. Maybe.
Same time.
We haven't discussed exactly like this being the set time each and every week, but I think Monday is a pretty good day for us. So it'll definitely be somewhere there. Follow us all on Twitter, of course, and
we'll iron it out.
Yeah, we'll definitely iron it out. What's our so at ChanManV at Nichts or whatever, or Nietzsche, whatever it is. Nietzsche, whatever it is. At Jerma
995.
9 what?
Jerma 985.
995. Yeah, Jerma 995.
985.
Oh, 985. 985.
I have numbers. I'm sorry. I have numbers.
I should just put our Twitter on here next time, but then nobody would know who Ster was.
I don't write
it.
Don't follow me. Let me address the audience. Don't follow me, because I write dumb shit. I write like once.
I don't know where I'm going. Don't follow.
This is like the anti-shout out.
Don't follow me.
This is a total anti-shout out, man. But anyways,
it's an anti-shout out for me.
That's gonna be it for the.
Oh, you didn't call out my Twitter. Well,
oh, did I? No, but you already did. At FishStix, I thought you already did your Twitter.
I know.
Yeah, it's at FishStix too. It's at FishStix too. All right, that's gonna wrap up episode 1, pilot episode of the overview. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And for FishStix, Jerma, Ster, and ChanManV, we'll see you next time. Later.
Take it easy, guys.